Hey, welcome.
Hey, how we doing?
Incredible. And thank you for wearing your costume.
It's not my costume. This is what I wear. This is my
Oh,
uniform.
all
Yeah,
365.
I have seven of them. Yeah,
Awesome.
every
So
day.
let me say a little bit about you, and then I have a lot of questions for you.
Rock and
So
roll.
I have to say that we we bought a hockey team a couple years ago, and my partner was a traditional marketer. He's a typical old-fashioned marketer of, and he thought he was marketing hockey games, and so he drives me crazy, and so I brought him to. I said I heard about Jesse and through a friend, and Jesse was kind enough to include us in a group and walk us around for about it's a tour for about an hour and a half before the game.
Yeah, probably.
And
Yeah.
do you do that often?
We're doing a lot of them these days. Yes, fortunate.
Okay, so let's get started. Can you take us back to your college days, or when did you start wanting to become a professional baseball player? How old were you?
Oh geez, I was a kid, so it's crazy. I was a kid that loved baseball, played baseball. It was everything for me until I tore my shoulder in college, and then I was actually sitting in a dugout coaching and realized that I loved playing the game, but despised watching the game. It was the longest, most slowest, most boring game I've ever watched. So
Wow.
that was many years ago now.
What position were you playing? What was
I
your?
was a pitcher. I was a pitcher that tore it. Yeah, I was a
Okay.
pitcher.
So you left college, and how did you get back into baseball?
So yeah, I got offered a job as a general manager of a baseball team at 23, and the only way you get offered a job as a GM of a baseball team at 23 is if it's the worst team in the entire country. So yeah, I took on the team in Gastonia, North Carolina, as a 23-year-old, and it was the lowest level of baseball there was, college summer baseball. And I remember that first day, I found out there was only $268 in the bank account. And the team had only 200 fans coming to the games, and the team had lost over six figures the previous year. So it was a great venture for my first job and my first day.
And was it huge pay?
It's paid 27,000, but I wasn't able to pay myself for the first 3 months. So I actually didn't take my first paycheck until December 15th.
Okay, and how long were you there?
I helped build that up for 10 years. Yeah, so it
And
was 10 years.
and how big did it get to be in terms of what was your attendance by the time you left, the average attendance?
So it was we realized that we weren't in the baseball business. We had to be in the entertainment business. So I read every book on P.T. Barnum, Walt Disney, everything I can. And so we turned it around. We had dancing players, grandma beauty pageants, salute to underwear nights, flatulence fun nights. We tried it all. And luckily, that first year went to 1,000 fans a game, then 1,200, then 1,500, then 2,000. And when I left, we were fourth in the country in attendance. So we had sold out most of our weekend games and turned it into a seven-figure brand. So we were very fortunate. So we learned a lot, and then we proceeded to fail even bigger right after that. So it was a good run, and then even bigger failures.
So what was it at the end, the average attendance?
Oh, we were 2,500 a game.
2,400. And how many could the stadium hold?
We're 3,000.
And how many teams were in that league?
There's 400 in college summer baseball, and we were fourth in
Okay,
the country in attendance out of the 400.
that's awesome. So then you stumbled upon the Savannah team. How did you find the Savannah baseball team?
I
Was that
proposed.
was that next? Was that next?
I proposed to my wife. So
Okay.
in 2009, when we started doing the crazy grandma beauty pageants, we actually hosted a conference at our stadium, and I was talking about all the things, the Dig to China nights and the dancing players and everything. And Emily, who I didn't know at that point, our boss heard me talk and left and said, "I met the guy you're going to marry." And so we kept in touch, me and Emily. And so she joined us as our director of fun in Gastonia. And at the last game of the 2014 season in Gastonia, in front of a sold out crowd, I stopped the game in my yellow tux and dropped down to a knee and had the ring inside a baseball and proposed to her. Thank goodness she said yes, because that would have been terribly embarrassing. But we had 4,000 fans cheering. I had a surprise fireworks show go off for about 20 minutes, completely delayed the game. Anyways, that night, I was asleep. She's like, "I can't believe he did this." So she planned a surprise trip to Savannah, Georgia the next weekend, and never been to Savannah, went to Savannah, fell in love with the city. And the minor league team was having a game, the New York Mets affiliate. So I remember walking into that stadium. I remember it to this day. It was beautiful, 1926 ballpark. John, old school stadium, but you got the brick columns. You've been there. And I walked up into the grandstand, and there was less than 200 fans in the stadium, in a 4,000 plus seat stadium. And it was the deadest environment I've ever seen. So I called the commissioner of our league. I said, if this team ever leaves, I go, we're coming here. We're going to bring the show to Savannah. And the commissioner said, sure, whatever you say. And lo and behold, within a month, we heard the team was failing and they were leaving, and they were gone. And so then we worked our butts off to convince the city to let a low-level college summer team come to Savannah, Georgia.
So did you know the commissioner from your stay in Gastonia?
Yeah, it was the same league. So we had to buy an expansion team to be able to go to a Savannah. So yeah, I knew the commissioner, and we built a pretty good relationship over 10 years.
Was it expensive?
We went from zero debt to $1.8 million in debt within 6 months.
Wow.
That's not when it really got bad, though. It got much worse after that.
I don't want to skip over what you said. I think you said your wife was director of fun.
Yes.
Now, where did you've come up with so many novel things? How did you come up with director of fun?
Our job, our positioning, who we are, is we make baseball fun. And so if your positioning is who you are and what you stand for is making baseball fun, you need to have someone that's leading that fun. And my wife is probably one of the most confident women in the world, that she'll wear a hot dog costume every day and never cares what she looks like. So she was a perfect fit for that.
Wow. And so you acquired the team, and you're 1.8 million in debt, and that's pretty nice. Most people never get to that level.
Yeah, it was great.
95% of people never get to that level. So would you say your net worth was below zero?
Oh, geez, we didn't have a net worth. I didn't have a net worth at that point.
Negative. So, and before I leave director of fund, did other teams, any of the other 400 teams have director of fund?
I'm not sure. I don't know of it.
Not that you know of. Have you heard of any?
No, I think there's ones now. I mean, you got Bill Murray, who's a director of fun of the Charleston River Dogs. So yeah, they developed, and director of first impressions, and all the different fun titles are out there.
So you're in the same league as you were back at Gastonia?
Correct. Yes.
So you're not in the Major League Baseball. You're not in AAA, AA, single A. You're just
college summer baseball. Yep. As low as it can go. Yep.
Okay. As low as it gets. So, and do the players make money?
You can't pay them. It's an NCAA violation. So
wow.
You're not allowed to pay them. But we did actually, we paid them more than any team in the country this past year, because they came out with name, image, and likeness, where you can actually do things with jerseys. So we actually all wrote them checks, which was nice. Awesome.
So you started out, you're 1.8 million in the hole, and your average fans your first year was how much did you put into fans the first year?
Well, no, I mean, so we showed up, we got our keys on October 5th, 2015. It was myself, my wife, our 24-year-old president, Jared, and 3 22-year-olds straight out of college. That was our crew. We showed up that first day. The former team cut the phone lines. They cut the internet lines. They took everything out of the ballpark. So we grabbed a picnic table from outside of Daffin Park and brought it into an abandoned storage building and started calling everyone saying, we're here, but no one cared. And I wasn't wearing the yellow.
When you say everyone, who do you mean by everyone? You called
everyone? Every business, every nonprofit, every church, every Little League, everybody in community, trying to get them on board with this new team coming to Savannah. And we were trying to fit in. I wasn't wearing the yellow tuxedo. We were marketing like everyone else. We were scared. We were the new kids in block, and we didn't want to, rock the world too much. And it was a huge failure. In 3 months, we sold only 2 total tickets. Two. It was a donation. And so by January 15th, 2016, I'll never forget, 4:45 p.m., I'm at my best friend's wedding, get a phone call. We overdrafted our account, and we were about to miss payroll. And I remember Emily turned to me and said, Jesse, we have no other options. So we had to sell our house. So at that point, we sold our dream house. We emptied out our savings account. We put the little dollars that we had into the team. We went down to Savannah, and we found this dump, and we got an airbed, a twin airbed at that. And so we knew we had to change things dramatically. We just didn't have any money. And so we had to really go big. And that was a real bottom point right there in January of 2016.
So January 2016. So can you remember the steps you took? I mean, outline the steps you took in each month, February, March, April. What did you begin? What did you begin changing? How did you develop?
Well, the first thing is you can't get the hearts of your customers and create fans until you have the eyes and the ears. So we had no attention. The problem was for 4 months, we had zero attention. We had all these big lofty goals and how we were going to change the game and create the most fun baseball experience, but no one was paying attention to us. So we had to do something differently. So everybody does a name the team contest. And we did that, and we got over 1,000 suggestions: sailors, ports, anchors, spirits, specters. But we got one that was bananas. And so we looked at it and we said, could we be the first team to ever name ourselves after a fruit? We started thinking, it's like, could we have a senior citizen dance team called the Banana Nanas? Could we have a male cheerleading team called the Mananas? But now they're just referred to as the Dad Bod Cheerleading Squad. Could we name our mascot Split? Could we go bananas? Could we throw bananas in people's pants during game and they call it Bananas in the Pants? And we started just thinking about the opportunity to create a brand that was fun. So on February 25th, 2016, we announced the team as the Savannah Bananas. We had merchandise ready, except most people don't know that the first shipment of t-shirts came in the week before, and there were too many N's in bananas. We actually misspelled bananas. So we announced the name, and we got the attention, except everybody hated it. Literally, the owner should be thrown out of town. You guys are an embarrassment to the city. Whoever named this should be fired. Thousands of comments crucifying us, saying like, you're a failure. However, nationally, we were #1 trending on Twitter that night. There was actually a Republican debate that night. We were #1 trending on Twitter. We were doing merchandise all over the world. Talking about Sports Center for 20 minutes. So we got the attention. Just locally, no one liked us because of what we were doing. So we had to announce the name. So after that, then we had to continue to come up with announcements to try to create attention. Instead of creating a marketing plan, we started creating an attention plan to get us up to opening night. Could we at least sell out opening night to get people to see it? And if they see it and they see the experience, maybe they'll tell all their friends. And so luckily we made all those plans, John, and then we got to opening night. Do you want me to quickly share that? Or
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we get to opening.
Because you immense success, and you went from failure to success, right? So that
but for the group that I've never gone this long, but for the group that, so yes, we were on the airbed 2 tickets, and fast forward 6 years, and we've sold out every single game. Our wait list for tickets is over 12,000. We have 1.2 million social media followers, and yes, now we're doing a world tour. So we're fortunate. I'm living on a real bed now. Emily and I have a real bed, not an airbed, and so we've come full circle. But yes.
Okay, so take us back to April, and you said, was it April where you had that first big meeting? After the naming meeting?
So after the naming, yeah, we had an abandoned puppy that was left outside our stadium, and she was the cutest, smallest little thing. So we named her our bat dog, even though there was no chance she could ever carry bats ever. So we named her our bat dog, and then that picked up a publicity. We offered President Obama, after his term, we offered him an internship with our team. Where we're going to give him a stipend. We started making announcements to try to create some buzz.
Was that like press release?
Videos. We started doing a lot of videos. So we did videos, press release, et cetera. But yeah, so we started creating some attention. And then people are like, who are these guys? And they're like, wait, every single ticket is all inclusive. You can come out to the ballpark and every ticket includes all your burgers, hot dogs, chicken sandwiches, soda, water, popcorn, and dessert for $15 and free parking and no ticket charges and no convenience charges, everything. They didn't believe it. And we were just guessing on that. We just knew that, the starting point for all innovation is to eliminate any friction. And for baseball, the friction is long, slow, and boring, and then you get nickel and dimed. So we just said, can we eliminate that? So anyways, we announced that and started paying attention.
Did you do that the first year?
Yeah. We came out and announced right away, all inclusive. Okay. Oh yeah. We had this vision. I think, Walt Disney's my biggest mentor, and Walt Disney and P.T. Barnum. And Walt Disney came up with the idea for Disneyland because he was sitting on a bench while his daughter Diane was going on a merry-go-round, carousel. And he's like, man, I wish there was something that'd be fun for adults and kids where they could have fun together. He had that vision. He actually put himself in the shoes. He's a dad and he was bored. His daughter was just doing her thing. So for me, I was just trying to create something that I would like. I mean, I don't like going to a sporting event that's just boring out of its mind. That's 3 hours long. And that every single drink, you got to pull $6 out of your pocket and then $5 for this and $4 for this. I hated that experience. So I said, what if we created something that would be fun that I want to tell everyone about? So we announced that created a little bit of attention. So somehow we convinced everyone to come out opening night. Now we were wearing green uniforms because we weren't quite ripe. So on opening night, we're not quite ripe. And in fact, We played terrible. We made 6 errors. It was a very bad game. It was pouring rain, so the fans rushed the stadium. Now, again, we had never served all you can eat before, ever. Not in Gastonia, never did that. So 4,000 fans came rushing in. We assumed, hey, have 4,000 pieces of meat ready. That would be smart. We were way off. They went through 10,000 pieces of meat in an hour. And the line took 2 hours for people to get food. It was a terrible experience. It was brutal. However, they saw the Bananas do their dance. They saw the players handing roses to little girls in the crowd. They saw us, the pep band playing music. They saw us do Banana Baby, where we lifted up a baby and saying, "Na, Savannah, na here." They saw those moments. And so the game didn't start till 9 o'clock, and I looked up because of the rain delay, and not one fan had left. They stayed for the entertainment. They stayed for the show. And after the game, even though we played terrible and lost, they told everyone. And that became our marketing. We didn't have any marketing dollars. They told everyone. People came back. They came back, and we kept adding to the show, playing in kilts, introducing princess characters, introducing new characters every single year. And now, it really took off from there.
Well, let's start with the including the food with the concept. Was there any chance you could lose money at $15?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
Okay. So why take that chance?
I think what people often, they look at short-term profits over long-term fans. Most people, they have conversations on how do we drive revenue over the next quarter. We're focused on how do we drive fans over the next quarter century. It's a different game. So when we have meetings, we talk about how are we going to create fans. So for instance, we had no idea how we were going to do it. And it was messy. It was messy. It was messy. But once we did it, after that first, they said, all right, how do we get better? Most groups, John, you do something like that. One hockey team actually tried to do it, and they had to stop mid-season. They couldn't get through the messiness. And the reason why is because you'll take a short-term hit. But I'll tell you, the next game we looked at, he said, well, what if we moved our drinks first so that people could actually fill their hand with a drink as opposed to taking 3 burgers and 2 hot dogs? And we moved the stanchions and spread them out. We added another huge point of sale. And each game we made bigger adjustments. Now people can get fed in 5 minutes. And you know what it costs us per head? $4 per person. So the model works. It's really hard to get to that model. And again, if you're trying to create fans and saying, what's the best value, the best experience, what's remarkable, that's a no-brainer decision.
Go ahead.
We were competing against a team that would give away free tickets. Discounting is the tax you pay for being average. So we weren't going to discount. We were actually going to increase the value, increase the price, and then hopefully increase the fans. That was the only way it could work. And we had to guess. And that's why you experiment constantly. Jeff Bezos says our success is a direct function of how many experiments we do per year, per month, per week, per day. Everything's an experiment. That was a big one. Fortunately, after failure, it ended up working better.
Yeah, I believe it that you have to pay more and be worth it. We have to charge more and be worth it.
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago that you have to beat your competitor in price or service. There's no profit in beating them in price. Someone will always come in less in price. Right.
Yeah.
So did you ever read Guerrilla Marketing?
Oh yeah, definitely familiar with
Guerrilla Marketing.
Yeah.
Did you like it? Well, let's talk about some of the you're full of differentiators. Let's talk about some of the things you do and during the game. Like you said, the senior citizen. I mean, could you take us through like 10 or 15 or 20?
So for instance, and we put this, and again, I ask every company we talk to, I go, all right, everyone talks about what we're better at, what we're a little bit faster at, what we're cheaper at, what we're more convenient. It's all What are you the only one doing? And when you become the only one, you truly differentiate yourself, and then everyone does all the marketing for you. So what I challenge everyone to put on their website is what makes you different. And it can't just be using the word, we're better at this, we're faster at this, etc. What are you the only one doing? So on our website, on our About Us, under our story, we sell only 1 ticket. It's all inclusive. Every game, our players perform choreographed dances, unique ones, everything from Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, you name it. We're the only baseball team to play in kilts. Our players do over-the-top music videos, Can't Stop the Peeling, Old Town Road. Our hitter walk-ups, we literally have a pep band walk our hitters up to the bat. We've had players last year introduce themselves. Now batting for the Bananas, UNCG alum, myself, and throws his mic. You create something different with that. Our scoring celebrations, when our team scores, we have a different celebration plan every single run. So when our team scores the first run, often they'll run through the entire crowd. So our dugout will be empty, but they'll be high-fiving everyone in the grandstand. We have our own Savannah Banana beer, our Savannah Banana cream soda, our Savannah Banana slippery banana drink, all custom, unique drinks at our ballpark. We sell zero advertising at our ballpark. We literally eliminated all of our ads from our stadium. We're the only one in the world that's dumb enough to do that and throw away hundreds of thousands of dollars. We did that 2 weeks before the pandemic on February 25th, 2020. The worst business move you could ever make. But we realized that that's fans first. That's the name of our company. People don't come to a ballpark to be sold to, marketed to, or advertised to. They come to be entertained. They come for fun. They come to be with their family. For us, they come to go bananas. We don't want to send ads to them. So we don't do that as well. I mean, yes, the banana nanas, the mananas, we have princesses, we have a professional high fiver. Literally, we hired someone that his job is to high five all the fans. He's 6 years old. He gets a snack break every 30 minutes. He always loves the cotton candy. And then we invented a brand new game. This up here, banana ball. Baseball's too long, too slow. So we invented a 2-hour game, fast paced. There's no stepping out. There's no bunting. Batters can steal first. And if a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. And so that's what we're doing all over the country. So it's a bunch of different things. And I think that's what we built on each other from starting with just one. We're the first ever team to have players do dances every game. You start with one and then you build on that. And that's where we've really gone from our days in Gastonia, even 15, 20 years ago.
I love the story you told about how some of the players, when they come in, they don't want to go out, and they're uncomfortable or embarrassed going out dancing. And you said, so only half of them would get on the field in the first game and get out and dance. And then I forget exactly why, but I think that you said that the fans would give bigger rounds of applause to those that went out and danced than the ones that didn't. So pretty soon everyone had to go out and dance because they wanted the acclaim and the applause from the fans.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to great. I'm glad you remember that. Our first ever game in Gastonia, before our practice, we brought in a dance instructor and said, guys, before we learn how to play, before we practice, we're going to learn how to dance. And they all looked at me like, what are you talking about? And I go, guys, we got to get the fans entertained here. We got to get them excited to watch us play. And some guys said, I'm not doing this. They ran off. But a few guys did it. And I'll tell you, they were good ball players, but terrible dancers. And but the first night they danced, the fans cheered them on. The second night they danced, they started signing autographs. The third night they danced, I'm walking through the grandstand and a husband and wife are having a conversation. And I watched the wife goes, shut up, honey. They're about to dance. And I was like, all right, we got something here. And lo and behold, yeah, those guys are the most popular players. And so now in Savannah, because our social media following, we're lucky, we have over 900,000 followers on TikTok, which is 200,000 more than any Major League Baseball team. We get about 1,500 players that reach out to us to play on.
Did you say 900,000?
900,000 TikTok followers, yeah.
Wow.
And so it's because we're very clear on who we are. We don't show baseball, we show making baseball fun. And, we show when we had our player have a flower girl escort him to the ball, to the plate, dropping flowers. And, we show how we mic up our players. So it's built on that lens. But yeah, I think when you scream on the top of the mountaintops who you are and you stick to it and you believe in it so much that you will attract the right people. We don't have serious ball players that aren't open to celebrating and having fun and doing music videos. They don't select to play for us. But the guys that do, they come in ready to do it all. And that's what's pretty cool.
Do you have a list of, I mean, you rattled off dozens of different promotions. Do you have a list of those? I know you have a book, but do you have a list of promotions?
Yeah, so yes. And I guess let's, at a high level, we look at every night as someone's first game. And so for any business, every day is someone's first interaction with your brand. How do you make them feel? And do you do the same things that you've always done? And I think that's where we push ourselves. Saturday Night Live, we're never ready, but at 11:30, the show must go on. And so for us, every night we do 4 things in front of a live audience that we've never done before. And that's a pregame promotion, a during game promotion, a hitter walk up, and a scoring celebration. And so we build that script. And I actually did a whole podcast on my business done differently, the last season 4, and it's about the power of plussing and a big Walt Disney thing and how to plus the show. So to answer your question, I looked at a script from opening night 2016, and then I looked at a script from this past season. And in 2016, we had like 6 items in pregame. I think we have 50 in our pregame now. And the in season, we have another, or during the game, we have another 50. So it's completely building out a script and building out new promotions. And the way we do this is we have idea paloozas with our team. What are promotions we can do with senior citizens? What are promotions we can do with the entire crowd? And we come up with these themes and then build and then test that other next night in front of a live crowd. How does it work or how does it fail? And a lot fail, like the horse head promotion and halftime shows failed miserably, and the living pinata. And
a halftime show in a baseball game?
Of course, we'd be the only one. So we thought, let's try it. And yeah, we did it on St. Patrick's Day. And I got a pipe and drum band, like in kilts, Savannah pipe and drum band, but they couldn't make rehearsal. So they showed up right for the halftime show. There's the players are in the field. I do a countdown, 10, 9, 8. All the players run off the field. And then all of a sudden we said, it's now time for our halftime show. Please welcome Savannah pipe and drum band. Well, they were all in their 60s, 70s, and a few in their 80s. And so they slowly made their way out to the field. It was the world's slowest halftime show. They made their way out, and instead of facing the crowd, they faced each other and just played pipes and drums for 4 minutes. Most of the fans were laughing. I was pacing back and forth, ready to get oxygen because I was waiting for it to be over. However, it's part of the example. You test it. You just test it. And now we know, action-packed, fast, 2 minutes. What are we going to do next?
So I like that. You've tried things and they failed and you just get rid of them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Things that succeed, you do better.
Yeah, you learn from it. So like, yeah, I mean, we know at certain promotions, most teams, they'll do a promotion and it's like, we're doing this because it's sponsored. We need the car dealership to pay money, or, hey, we'll just get a family out here and see what happens. We plan everything from what's the button in the beginning, what's the button at the end. And what by button I mean is, what is that moment that's going to get people cheering, laughing, or reacting? What's that moment at the end that's going to get them cheering, laughing, and reacting? We weren't like that in the beginning, but when you've seen so many promotions, we've done thousands. You learn what doesn't work and what does work, and you build on that. So it's building a culture of experimentation that I think everybody can do, whether you're a baseball team or not. What are you doing when people first walk into your store? When they first call you? When they buy something from you? What's the email response? How can you experiment to see, do people actually talk about it? Do they say, oh, wow, that was so fun. Thank you for sending that. That was cool. I mean, we experiment with our invoices. We have brand new invoices that are ridiculous that we've never done before. And so that's when you start building more fans, because you're testing new things to see how they react.
That's awesome. And when I was there, I was totally surprised by this. You had dog night, or was it pet night or dog night?
Yeah, and every team does that.
Right.
That's
Oh,
generic.
do they?
Yeah.
Well, I was surprised to see hundreds of dogs and not one barking. I did not hear one barking dog. And there were literally hundreds of dogs. But then so other teams do that?
Yeah, bark in the park is generous. That just, we have a lot of dogs in our area, so make sure we take care of them. But yeah, it's what do you build on that? How do you make it unique? How do you not just have dogs, and what are other things you do? So you have to, again, look at a way to plus that.
And you had some crawling race of children?
Oh, the world's slowest race. Yeah,
is that what? Okay, how does that?
Yeah, a framework that we took, and I learned this from the great Alan Fadden, who wrote the book Innovation on Demand, which when he came out with his book, instead of putting it in a bookstore like everyone else, he actually bought a huge retail space in Minneapolis and developed the one book bookstore, and he only sold his book. So he had his book in every section: self-help, business, history. And he told me, he said, Jesse, the key is, if you want to create publicity, whatever's normal, do the opposite. And so that's been our whole mindset on everything. So that guides us. So got me back to your question. I'll lead to where I was going. What were you?
Yeah, I was talking about the toddler race. The world's slowest race.
World's slowest race. So normal is you have a fast race and you race around. We said, what's the world's slowest race? So we actually got a turtle costume, and we got a turtle. They race actually toddlers. So we put toddlers that can barely crawl. You play the Chariots of Fire theme song. 90% of the time, a baby starts crying. 10% of the time, they start going, and the crowd loves it. And so, that's, again, a twist on a race, make it slow. Twist on dancers, bring in senior citizen dancers. A twist on cheerleaders, have them be men. Just that opposite.
Yeah, to be clear, the parent walks away like 20 feet, and they're trying to encourage their child to come towards them. And 7 out of the 10 kids never move. 1 or 2 cry, and one it goes like the slowest turtle, but they go right for their parent. So it was an interesting race. Yeah. Now, the thing that I didn't ask the first time, and it didn't occur to me the first time, that first experience that we spent 3 or 4 hours there, was how well the team did. so how does it affect the performance of your players in the league?
I guess I'm trying to put in perspective on this. I'll give the answer, but think about from any business. If your experience is so good for your customers and you put all your effort on creating fans out of them, how much better will your team perform because of that feedback, because of that recognition, because of that energy? So we never focused necessarily on the baseball. We focused on the atmosphere. How can we be the most fun ballpark in the world, the most fun team in the world? And so when you create that, a byproduct happens. Our team in 6 years has won more games than every team in the league. We've won the championship twice, and we've had more players go into professional baseball. And I think it's a combination of a lot of things. But I'll tell you this, after every game, when we plan our last impression, again, the last impression leaves a lasting impression. Most people, they just walk out your door and that's it. They might get a bye, they might get a thank you. We have our entire team set up and our pep band playing, and we dance with our fans. But the coolest moment is I watch, we'll have fans come up to them and just say, "Oh, thank you so much for delivering that rose to my little girl. Thank you so much for dancing with my grandmother during the game. Thank you so much." They don't talk about the double. They don't talk about the home run. They don't talk about the strikeout. And when we teach this fans first mentality, it's reciprocal. It goes back and forth. So like literally, I'll never forget, I'm walking in the crowd after a game and I see one of our players on his knee. And I see two kids come up to him and say, "Hey, can I have your autograph?" And he says, "Only if I can have yours." And I watched as the kids signed his hat, Ethan and John. And now our entire team has kids' autographs all over their hat. You're telling me that doesn't inspire you to play better, play more, or work harder to be in front of these fans these moments are really special. And so to us, that's what it's about. And when you see, I tell the guys every night, we have fans coming in from anywhere between 24 and 32 states. USA Today did a story on fans were paying $150 for $15 tickets. I go, guys, we have an obligation to put on the best show. And so it all goes in together because if they're doing it for the fans and the fans are doing it for them.
Now, do you have a book?
First book, yeah. Second book's coming out in this spring. But the first book I wrote 3 or 4 years ago is Find Your Yellow Tux, How to Be Successful by Standing Out. Okay.
Say that again.
Find Your Yellow Tux, How to Be Successful by Standing Out.
Awesome. And I was able to convince my partner when we went there, my hockey team partner, I was able to convince him to send someone to you have a training course, 2 or 3 days? Do you still have
we do a Bananas for Business. So we groups in to see, do a behind the scenes tour, and then we spend a day and they go through it. Yeah, we don't promote that too heavily. We really the inside because we're really putting a lot of dedication into doing a lot more touring. However, yes, we do have that a few times a year.
Only twice?
Only twice, yes.
Wow, it was a good coincidence that we were there like 2 days before it started, and we're able to get our guy in there. So talk about your tour. What do you do on your tour?
So again, I think this narrow focus is important. I think so many people try to be too many things to too many people. We don't have sponsorship sales. We don't have it. We are our games. That's what we believe we can be the best and most unique at. So when we realized we reached our capacity in this past summer, when our wait list reached 12,000 for tickets, we said we need to bring our show to more people. And so, of course, in a Fans First way, we asked our fans, where should we go? And we had thousands of suggestions from cities and countries all over. I was like, we can't go to Sydney, Australia this year. Sorry, it's a little tough for us. Give us some time. And so we narrowed it down and we got down to 7 cities and we just announced. So yeah, we're traveling to West Palm, we're to Daytona, we've got Montgomery, Birmingham, Kansas City, and a few different cities that we'll announce later. And so we're playing Banana Ball. We're bringing 2 teams. We're bringing our male cheerleading team, our breakdancing coaches. We're bringing the whole show. It's unscalable. And I want to say this for a second, John, it's completely unscalable. But if you really want to create fans and grow, you have to do the unscalable to actually end up scaling. You have to do things that is so over the top. And so, I mean, yeah, it costs us 6 figures plus to go to each city. It's not a brilliant business model. But when we did it last year with a test. We did a 1-city world tour, which, yes, a 1-city world tour. And we went to Mobile, Alabama. And for some reason, 7,000 fans bought tickets in 24 hours. And they came out, and there's some ridiculous, funny stories I could share at another point, but they came out and approved the concept. And so now we keep expanding and keep expanding and keep growing. So yeah, we're going to travel all over and focus on that as our main goal to bring the fun to more people.
And how does someone find out your schedule, where you're going to be?
Savannah Bananas, very easy. Yeah, Savannah Bananas website, and you could see, and there's some cool features. You could see the ESPN special that they did this past summer in CBS Sports and see more of the story. But yeah, everything's on our website.
Are you the best? Are you the best experience in all the 400 teams in your division at your level?
We don't compete against any of the teams. So I'm saying that, and this isn't a political answer. I'm not worried about that answer, that question at all. I'm focused on competing against myself every day to be a better experience. So our competition is every day. The next show is better be better than the last one. And that's what we compete. We don't compete for customers. We compete against ourselves. And that's the power of plussing the experience every single day.
Yeah, people ask me, a lot of investors or potential investors or potential franchisees ask me, what's the number one, what keeps you up at night? What do you worry about? And I said, I worry about ourselves and not executing, because I don't worry about our competitors. They can't hurt us. Only ourselves can hurt us, and we just have to keep getting better. And we have to have the best system. That's a good point you made. To have the best system, it has to be improving.
Yeah,
you have to be committed to improvement.
A concept, John, that I've been working on a lot recently, and I try to figure out, how do I spend my best use of my time every day? And I realized it's the Bananas IP, and it's not IP like you would think it is. Most people think IP is intellectual property. I think of Bananas IP as ideas and promotion. Every day, how can I be coming up with ideas, that really move us forward? And then how do we promote them in a fun way? And if we continue to build a culture of ideas and promotion, I think we can be unstoppable. It's the companies that lose the ideas and lose the ability to promote and continue doing the same thing they've always done because it worked in the past. Ideas are everything. That's why every morning I come up with 10 new ideas on a theme. And that's why our team does it. And so I challenge them to come up, how do you come up with because I work my idea muscle every single day. How do you come up with ideas? You come up with ideas. You want to come up with better ideas, come up with more ideas.
How many teams are there out of the 400 or in your at your level that try to replicate what you do?
I get emails and messages from time to time, and what do they say? It's flattery. Teams do. I've seen the Banana Baby done other places now. I've seen some of the different cheerleading teams and what we're doing. And I think, again, you either have a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset. And you could say, oh, look what they're doing. They're stealing our thing. And I know, lawyers might be upset with I'm sharing everything on Banana Ball and sharing a new game, which has been pretty successful. No, you got to have a mindset that it's abundance. And so that's how we take it on. The more people are doing it, the better. It's making more baseball fun. And that's our vision. That's our goal. It's not, we need to be the only one doing it.
When I was there, the band was on vacation or something, or touring somewhere else. Tell me about the band.
Yeah, they had band camp when you were there. It's actually so pep band, yeah, and that's interesting. So I'm actually going to go on a tangent there a little bit. Yeah, pep band we built. I watch college football games. I love pep bands, and there's none in baseball. So I said, could you bring a pep band in a baseball? You don't think of baseball games having a pep band, so I thought it could be a nice touch. And so started as volunteer based. Then obviously they did really well, and we pay them, and they're a big part of what we do. But one of the great things I believe is constraints foster creativity. And so when we didn't have the band, we had to think of very unique ways to do things. So we came up with DJ Peels on wheels, a mobile DJ on a Segway. We came up with different ways to do music. We brought a sexy saxophone player in. We came up with a guy on stilts. You come up with other ways to entertain. And the most viral moment of last year was when that player introduced himself coming up to the plate. The only reason that happened was because our main announcer, he was out of town to be with his mother, and he missed that one game. And so we had to figure out, we don't have an announcer. How can we announce the players in a different way? And so we had kids announcing them. We had teammates announcing them. I had fans in the crowd announcing them. And one player was like, I'll just announce myself. He did that. We filmed it, put it on ESPN, shared it. It got 25 million views. And that's what happens when you get constraints, own them. Say, oh, what does this now give us the opportunity to do? I believe every company should have a rain delay script. When it rains in baseball, it's the worst thing that could ever happen. But we have a script that's now 3 hours long of entertainment, that if it's raining and our fans are in the stadium, this is what we are going to do for the next 3 hours to keep fans entertained. When something goes wrong with one of your clients or customer, do you have a script of something that you can do to make the experience even better and create a bigger raving fan? That's the things that we've learned that I love jumping in on. Ooh, what went wrong? Now what do we get to do? It's a weird mindset, and I'm sick and crazy for it, but that's what I think gets me fired up, because we'll now do something we've never done before.
You say we a lot, and which is incredibly important. But who's the we that thinks of all this? It's not just you, right? How big is your group of people that give you guidance as to, hey, how about this and how about that? And do you have meetings, or how do you do that?
Yeah, we started as the four, the 322-year-olds and our 24-year-old president. Now we have 25 full time. But yeah, every week we have idea paloozas. Every week I talk with our director of entertainment. We have an idea session. Literally today, our idea session was 10 ways to plus our march before the game. And so we came up with some crazy ideas with streamers and confetti and some big levers for kids to push and doing the banana baby. We came up with a bunch of different ideas. It's so in our DNA now that yesterday we had another idea session. I have another one so I'll jump on one with our marketing group. I'll jump on with our video group. I'll jump on one with our operations group. And sometimes they just do them with themselves. It's a lot of times say, oh, brainstorming. No, we have a theme. It's not just brainstorming. We have an intentional theme of what we're trying to solve. So we're always coming up with these ideas together. And you know what? There's more laughter. There's more fun. We get to have, think into the future, which is important, of what are we going to do next? I mean, I can't wait till we have our players skydive to their position for the starting lineup. I can't wait till we have a mechanical bull in the bullpen and we have pitchers ride the mechanical bull before they take the mound. I can't wait till we can do bottle service to a player when he's at bat, literally like, champagne bottle with the sparklers that they do at the VIP lounges. Like, I get excited for those, and they all came from ideas. And then our team gets excited for them. So I just think most companies, you get into the daily work, the daily busy work. We got to do this, we got to grow sales. We got to grow revenue. We got to grow the ideas. What are the ideas that can get us fired up that we can actually deliver? And that's where we spend a lot of our time.
So all 25, you invite all 25 to those meetings?
It's all individual groups. So for instance, it's all departments, what we're trying to do. If we're trying to think of what's a unique experience we can add to our concessions, we'll be with the operations group. If we're talking about how can we really plus the merchandise experience, it'll be with our merchandise group and our marketing group. So it really depends on each station and each group what we're looking to do. On our tour, we get together as a whole tour. What are these wow moments we're going to create to our fans in each city? What are we going to do in Daytona? What are we going to do in West Palm? And we get together with our tour group. And the key is you don't just say we're going to have a brainstorming session at 3:00 on Tuesday. You say, here's the theme, and everyone has to bring a minimum of 3 ideas. And what happens is
give us an example of a theme.
So a theme. So today I told you it was our pregame march. Yesterday it was banana ball marketing ideas. So banana ball marketing ideas, because we're going to try to promote that. So everyone came with ideas on banana ball. Merch store. We're building a brand new merch store. So 10 new ideas. So we had ideas. Ridiculous ones like a living mannequin. So actually like a human dressed, but he's like statue, just a living mannequin, which is kind of scary and funny itself. A hidden door with a bookshelf that goes into a special area. All these ideas came from thinking about a merch store differently. So another one, your reception desk or the first impression when you walk into, if you have a retail store, all right, what are 10 things we can do when people first walk in that would create a remarkable impression? 10 things. And so it's just thinking, what about when people enter on our website that they're interested? What's the response? 10 ways that they could get a cool response. We send videos to people when they buy tickets and do thank you calls and all that stuff. So any part of your customer journey, you can have a theme, an idea session towards that part of the journey.
So, in Herb Kelleher, one of the founders of Southwest Airlines, he said, if you want your customers to be treated as number one, you got to treat your staff as number one. So talk a little bit about more of how you create a exciting, fun work environment for them.
I love this conversation. This is Emily. Emily's really started my wife at the heart of this. That's who she is. But yeah, it starts with the interview process. Are you the same interview process as everyone else? We do a video cover letter, fans first essay, and then we do your future resume. We show that we care not just about your past, what your future is. So we have them sell out what they want to do in the future. You tell a lot from that, and they also appreciate it. We ask them questions in their interview about their favorite snacks, their favorite drinks, their favorite things, so that when they do join us, we have all that ready for them on their first day. So you set the tone by actually listening. A great lesson I learned was listen carefully, respond creatively. When we ask questions, are we really listening on how we can actually do something, or are we just asking a question to ask a question? The next thing our fans first director did, which is really important, is she did the love languages for our entire team. You know, if we really want to love our people, and I say, you know, you got to love your customers more than you love your product, but you got to love your people and your team more than you love your customers. If you want your team to deliver great customer experience, you got to deliver a great experience to them. But do we even know what they love, what drives them, what they're motivated by, what inspires them? So we did the love language test, and it was eye-opening. You know, we have all young people, millennials team, and it was eye-opening. You know, you have quality time, physical gifts, or quality time, gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation, and acts of services. Those are the 5 love languages. 95% of our people, the number one thing on the love languages was words of affirmation. I asked our director of operations, I said, what was your best moment of last year? You know, we had epic concerts, we did parties, we had sold out crowds. He said, it was right after our first concert, and you put your hand on my shoulder and said, man, Jonathan, you killed it. I'm proud of you. I go, that was your best moment of the year? He goes, you have no idea how much that meant to me. A simple acknowledgement. And so our president, Jared, who I think you met, his was words of affirmation, number 1, but his touch was last. He said, tell me you love me, but don't you ever touch me. It was very funny. So the key is we did this. And so now we know that when we celebrate this, like, you know, we sent our vice president to game 1 of the World Series with his dad, the one bond they had. We sent our fans first director to go to Ireland with her dad. You know, we're sending Patrick, who's obsessed with golf. He's been with us 5 years, to go to the Waste Management, his favorite golf tournament. He's never been. He's going with his wife. You know, you do for one what you wish you could do for many, is what Andy Stanley said. And so we try to live that, but we have to know what drives them, what they love, and try to acknowledge those special moments. Very important for what we do.
Now, we do something that almost no other company does, and we try to do that in all of our companies, is we call our customers and ask them how we did. And what, you know, in most companies today, they send you an email and just please send 3 minutes to answer this question. But we learned that customers love being called, and our retention goes up, and we ask for referrals and get more referrals. And we find out if we've done anything wrong. How do you know, how do you follow up with fans?
Yeah.
And I mean, case by case, to find out how their experience was, how to improve.
A huge opportunity for us. We are not doing what we should be doing. And I think we've figured out a great model in the sense when anybody buys a ticket, we send them the hilarious, ridiculous video about us celebrating and what their tickets happen with their ticket. And then everyone gets a thank you call when they buy a ticket. After the games, we do not follow up the way we should. I mean, we send an email and it's fun and we, you know, follow up that way, but we can get a lot better. And I think that's the next journey, the next step for us.
Good. So maybe you learned a little thing from me this.
I'm always learning. See, you don't realize I'm watching you, but I can't see anyone's face, but I see Bob, and I see Bob when you react. So if Bob's laughing, I know we're onto something. If he's just he's taking notes, we're onto something too.
Bob's my co-host, but I asked him to step aside today because you just have so much to say. Behind you, you have the banana ball rules. Could you take us through those rules quickly?
Sure. Again, starting point. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Starting point for all innovation is eliminating friction. So I put myself in the fan shoes and said, what are all the boring parts of baseball? What are all the points that aren't fun? And let's do the opposite. So first thing, most games, baseball, they're now over 3 hours and 10 minutes. They're dramatically getting longer. We said, nope, 2-hour time limit, strict time limit, done. Game starts at 7, you're out at 9, kids are in bed by 10. You know, it's just happening. The next one, no stepping out. You know, batters step out forever. It takes forever at pitches, no stepping out. Then we have the every inning counts. So basically every inning counts. Most baseball games, a team scores 6 runs. It's a boring inning. The game might be over. It's 6-0. For us, the best play in baseball is the walk-off. So if a visiting team scores no runs in the first, but the home team, the first guy hits a home run, inning over, walk-off celebration, 1-0, goes to the top of the second. So we build every inning to be exciting. No bunting. You know, as a kid, my dad said, Jesse, swing hard in case you hit it. That's it. That was my whole mindset. I believe in coming to the bat and swinging hard. No bunting. This isn't a game where we bunt. No walks. Walks. Think about this. You're in an athletic sport. This part of the game is called a walk. We literally walk down the base paths. Like, what? That should not be an athletic event. So we do the opposite. It's called a sprint. As soon as that fourth ball, the umpire goes sprint and hitter takes off full speed. The catcher has to throw the ball to every player in the field before it's live. So the hitter gets at least a double, maybe a triple. There's been plays at third. It's crazy. That's the sprint. Fans catch a foul ball. It's an out. That's easy. And then instead of extra innings, think about this: a long baseball game. You played 3 hours. All right, we're tied. Let's just play more baseball, free baseball. Like, no. So we developed a showdown: pitcher versus hitter. The hitter has to score. All the players are off the field. We bring in one fielder. So he's got one fielder. So it's a mano-a-mano showdown. That's the extra inning. The whole stadium standing and cheering. The pitcher's got to show what he's made of. The hitter's got to show what he's made of. It's wild. So that's some of the rules.
How do you steal first?
Oh, batters steal first.
Batters can steal first. How do you do that?
Very easy. You penalize pitchers for throwing balls is one of the big rules. So a pitcher throws a ball in the dirt and gets the pass. It gets to the
pass the catcher. Right?
Yeah, pass the catcher. The hitter can just take off and steal first. Why not?
So, and let me see. No
mound visits. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. No need
so
for that.
We have about 7 or 8 minutes left. We'll try to take some questions if we can.
Sure.
So Go
Thanks
ahead.
For all the encouragement. I love this group, by the way. A lot of nice comments. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the love.
So you can read the chat. So if anyone has a question, they can put it in on the chat for Jesse.
John, can I ask one?
Sure, go ahead, Bob. Please.
How do you get people who have had creativity killed since grade school to be creative? But one of the ways I learned just now is bring 3 or 4 ideas, or you can't be in the meeting, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, don't come if you don't have the ideas, right?
And don't say I'm not creative enough. That's an excuse. Yeah, fortunately, we've built it. 90% of our team is interns, so we built them. They never had other jobs. And if you come from baseball, it's going to be hard. Or come from sports, it's going to be hard to get a job with us because you've been trained. It's corporate trauma of the way things are supposed to be. I need to know your sales numbers. Give me what's your 10% sales numbers? How are you growing this? No, I want to know your ideas. And so we actually in the hiring process, we asked, what ideas do you have for us? I'll share a quick one, Bob, right now. An intern, we hired him, and I asked, what ideas do you have? On his first day, he goes, I like how we make thank you calls. Because he was a fan, he bought tickets, he got a thank you call. He goes, but they're pretty boring. I go, oh, really? All right. I go, what do you have in mind? He goes, well, I think they should be a rap. I go, what do you mean a rap? He goes, like a rap, like a singing rap. The thank you calls? He goes, yeah. I go, well, perfect, Austin. You'll do one by the end of the day. And he goes, wait, what? No. I'm awkward. I can't. I'm socially awkward. I can't do that. I go, no, you'll be awkward. You'll be Austin, the awkward bananas rapper. And so by the end of the day, I had him do a rap because I want to teach him the value of how much we value ideas. So by the end of the day, at 4:00, he made a rap to someone who bought merchandise, and he said, hey, this is Austin, the awkward bananas rapper. I'm here to fill your day with fun, joy, and laughter. I hope you enjoy your perch. Thank you so much for your merch, and gave this ridiculous rap. And at the end, the guy said, thanks, man. And Austin turned to me and goes, that wasn't that bad. I go, of course it wasn't. And so you have them come up with ideas, but you have to actually have them own the ideas and test the ideas and try the ideas and show that we actually care about the ideas. And that's part of it as well.
Sam Desai from California said, 3 outrageous. Do you have any outrageous goals for 2022? Do you have 3?
A good question. And I'm definitely a component and supportive of the idea of goals. However, I think goals are too short term to an extent. And I think, so for us, we have a 5-year vision, and we posted that out publicly of what we're going to do. That's on our website, and we share that. But yeah, in 1 year, I think, what do they say? You overestimate or underestimate what you can do in 5 years and overestimate what you can do in 1 year. So for us, everything is trying to build the show to more people. We're building Banana Land at our stadium with zip lines across the field and the world's largest banana and trains across the field and bananas breweries and speakeasies. We're building the most happiest, fun place in the world. We're trying to do that for a ballpark, but they're also taking the team all over the country. So we did 1 city last year. We're doing 7 cities this year. So we have a pretty good expansion there. So our outrageous goal is just to bring this show and fun to 7 times the amount of people we did last year, which is pretty substantial.
And
go ahead, Bob.
John, his genius goes all the way back to Drucker. He knows his business is creating and retaining fanatical fans, and his industry is irrelevant. He just chose baseball as his industry.
That's our platform.
But his genius is knowing what business he's in, which is creating and retaining fanatical fans.
Thank you, Bob.
Exactly. You said something earlier that all the people on this this call should pay attention to, and that's people throttle the future by trying to emphasize the present.
That's
And
good.
we all have to have we also all have to have a 3-5 year window of how to improve our business, and not just limit it to making bad decisions today just to get enough extra dollar today and killing our future.
100%. We do free shipping on everything. It actually costs us $11. We have a custom yellow box, delivered fresh, free koozies, free decal, yellow tissue paper, and it costs us $11 before anyone even buys a product from us. We're not trying to create revenue, we're trying to create fans. And so it's that long game that we're playing. And now, fortunately, our merchandise is a multi-million-dollar business with people buying from all over the world, and it's all part of that piece. Instead of just trying to squeeze that extra $6 in shipping, that extra $3, it's a different game.
That's awesome. Let me give you a quick quiz. End of the shows. Walmart and Kmart, right? There's one's a great company and one's dying. And so if we were to examine the leaders of each company, the top executive team of each company, right? The executive team of Walmart and executive team of Kmart, what's the difference between those two? I mean, I wondered, is it most educated? Now you can hire the most educated. Is it most experienced? Now you can hire the most experienced. Is it the smartest? No, you can hire the smartest. So what is different about the Walmart team than the Kmart team?
You're asking me?
Yep. I'll tell you if you.
I mean, to me, I immediately go to vision. I immediately go to a vision and not trying to be a me too, really do something that has a bigger impact. And so but I'm intrigued on where you're going with this. Yeah,
it's what I learned, Jesse, is, and you embody this, is it's culture. Yeah. You have to create a culture of exactly what you've done, of innovation and fun and setting audacious goals and achieving great things. And so it's a culture, and most companies.
What do you stand for? Yeah, what do you stand for? Exactly. What does Kmart stand for? No one knows, but what does Walmart, especially in their glory days, what do they stand for?
Right, and that culture is an asset. You know, on your balance sheet, you have equipment and buildings and et cetera, but culture should be on your balance sheet. It's a differentiator.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful hour, and hopefully we can have you again sometime. And I look forward to seeing your presentations in the future.
That was awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, guys.
What a great deal. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.